More on the excitement surrounding President Obama's trip to Kenya, here is Africa 54's Esther Githui-Ewart.
Yes, indeed. All eyes will be on Kenya this Saturday when President Obama addresses the Global Entrepreneurship Summit in Nairobi. But back here in Washington, the 2015 class of the Mandela Washington Fellowship Program, initiated by President Obama for young African leaders, is already talking about the president's trip to his ancestral home.
To be able to work together.
At a breakfast meeting organized by Congresswoman Karen Bass, YALI fellows spoke with passion about Africa and with gratitude to the United States President for initiating the fellowship program. Kennedy Kanyali-Mwicha is a fellow from Kenya. He says young leaders expect President Obama's meeting with global entrepreneurs to raise issues of governance and human rights.
President Obama and also President Kenyatta, who's going to be hosting President Obama while he's in Nairobi, have to deal with questions of governance, have to deal with questions of human rights and also rule of law, which are, Kenya is making gains, but we really want to see these gains being tied to, recent policy developments in Kenya.
Mary Ashinyo is a YALI fellow from Ghana. She says Kenyans should still hold their heads high with pride for the ancestral connection President Obama has with the country.
First of all, to the people of Kenya, they'll feel that they have not been forgotten after all. Definitely he has visited before ending his term of office, but then also I see it as an opportunity for him to have more influence on leadership in Africa.
After he departs Kenya, President Obama will be going to Ethiopia. This will be his first trip to the country and the first by a sitting U.S. president. There, he is expected to meet with African Union officials. Ethiopians in the diaspora as well as the opposition back home have divided opinions on Mr. Obama's visit. Israel Tibe-Butaye is a YALI fellow from Ethiopia and a human rights lawyer. He says he's excited about the trip and the U.S. engagement in Africa, especially on governance and economic issues.
I say it's a positive step, but I'm always skeptical of the follow-up actions. I believe this should be followed by a concrete policy, a concrete legal framework that the African leaders, African governments, African communities are engaged, and also make sure that the American companies, they engage and constructively, that is a sustainable development.
And as the U.S. President addresses the Global Entrepreneurship Summit, YALI fellow Mary Ashinyo hopes the forum will provide an opportunity for him to stress the theme of democracy.
Allowing them to have their voice heard, thinking outside the box, and that is how we find solutions to our problems. So I think that we'll be looking forward to his next visit to Africa, that is Kenya.
The Mandela Washington Fellowship for Young African Leaders aims at empowering young people through academic coursework, networking and leadership training. For now, all eyes are on the East African nation, and the big question is if the president's schedule will allow him to meet with his extended family in Kogelo, Western Kenya.